Welcome to this episode of the Million Dollar Mastermind. I'm Larry Weidel, and before we get started, if you want to know exactly how to win again and again, go to weidelonwinning.com/webinar now to watch something I've put together for you. Now let's get going into this episode of Million Dollar Mastermind. I'm here talking with Joe Ward, and we're talking about navigating life successfully and drafting off the priceless, pure gold information from those that have gone before us and have figured out where the gold is. They wasted the time and we just go, it's just like fishing, where they biting, probably where all the boats are, and if you can find a way to get in there, there's unlimited number of fish in the sea. And so you can take some clues. If nobody's way over here, probably no fish over there. Joe, that idea of reading 10 pages of something every day, I know you're talking about something productive, and it's read or watching the video or something like that, consciously exposing yourself, because that comes from a decision you made and have lived. You're living out your decision to put yourself in a position where the inspiration never runs out. And, it's like a business. If you stop prospecting, you're going to go out of business. If you stop recruiting, you're going to stop growing your outlets and, recruiting and training. If you can stop advertising, if you got a business, you got to advertise one way or the other. You got to prospect. And it's really everybody's main job to find new clients. And so that's why you don't see Amazon sitting on their hands. They're going here, and even Google, they're got new things here, new apps, new this, new that, and all kind of crazy stuff, because they've got the money to spend on crazy stuff. But they want to open up not like a handful of clients. They want to open up whole new businesses and everything. But that's not a dumb thing. That's a smart thing, because you grow or die. And that starts in your organization with you exposing yourself. I had this idea on the way up, and that was I never wanted my organization to go to an event or a company or see something and say, I wish I was over in that company. Right. Because wow, look how excited they are. I wanted everybody in the world to say, I wish I was on their team, And so what a benefit you get from your approach to the reading, the talking to people, going to events, getting on calls, chasing people down that are hot, is the same thing that drove me. And that is, great ideas don't care who has them. And if someone's beating me, I always had this idea, someone's beating me, I can't accept they're better than me, but they may be better than me, so what? But they probably, in addition to being better than me, know something. What makes them better than me? Unless it's sports, unless it's something athletic, it's how they think, how they use their time, how they're using their resources, how they're organizing themselves, how they look at life, And so, I can't be Michael Jordan, but I can copy how Michael Jordan thinks. I can't play golf like Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, but I can copy how they think around the golf course. And so what you're doing is you're giving yourself the chance to make sure no one's figured out business and distribution and training better than you, because you made sure you're exposed to all the best and brightest stuff out there. And that was really the secret behind the big hitter call. It's like, I want to make sure nobody had discovered anything that I didn't know about, because if they've figured something out, I can use that idea myself. And so, and then it's game on, and I don't have to go and get past and then say, hey, what are they doing? I can find out what they're doing before they catch and pass me and implement it now, and making it that much harder for them to catch me. And I know that's the mentality you've got. It's a matter of, I don't want anything exciting to be happening out there that I don't know about, because I might not decide to do it or use it, but I know about it. And I'm not going to get me. And like, that's the smart companies do that all the time. They look at their competitors and say, what are they doing in marketing and social media and advertising and outreach and emails and coupons and this and that and the other that maybe we could use. Your approach, like recently, what's the most, like when you went to see Dick, what did that do for you? Hey, listen, there's a lot of information online, but there aren't a lot of people who've actually done something. In my case, I've actually built a successful business that's accrued over $5 billion in assets under management and has done well even during trying times. Now, if you want to know exactly how I've done this, go to whitelmwinning.com/webinar now. I've compressed a decade of learning into 5 short weeks just for those of you who want to give yourself an incredible advantage and are tired of waiting and watching others move up.
And just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, I would call that like discovery is better than trial and error. Like that just makes no sense. I don't want to come up with it, right? And I know it's looked at in a negative connotation, right? But it means the same thing. I would rather plagiarize than study. Like I would rather you studied. You have the answers. I want the answers you're putting down on the paper. Now that'll get you in trouble at school. That'll make you a lot of money here, right? In an industry like ours. So to use Dick for an example, and so you know, I ended up having a conversation. We were on a kind of a mutual you know, group with our company, and he was talking about his mentality behind full-time agents inside our industry. And it was very similar. Remember, again, it was confirmation to what I did when I built my business originally, but I had totally gotten away from it. Like I didn't stop doing some of it. I stopped doing all of it. But when I heard him, it was like, well, wait a minute. That was the way I talked to people, you know, early on to get them to get full-time in our industry. This was the framework that I used. This was the way I painted the picture. And so we started to have a few more conversations like that. And it was just like, it was really, if it was actually not too unlike, you know, conversations that I've had with you over the years, where it's great golden information, but it's information overload. And so I'm like, oh my God, there's like 1,000 things I need to be doing, right? And so I was like, hey, can we just kind of get in the same space? And so really what he helped to remind me of, and then give me really, and here's the biggest thing. One of the things, especially in an industry like ours, Larry, it's not so much what to do all the time. It's really about terminology and what to say, how to paint the picture so that it puts the proper thought process in the person's mind so that they will end up doing what's going to be mutually beneficial to the two of us. And so we spent a lot of time with what was your, meaning that individual, Dick Walker, what was the terminology? What was the thought process? What were the words that you were using? And so he helped me with that. And so, and when you look at that, Larry, and again, we've had conversations like this over the years, to where I promise you the information and the knowledge that I got from Dick is going to take me a year to walk out inside my organization. But the seeds were planted to my understanding. Now I just need to get that through the organization, if that makes sense.
Right. And you go through this experience talking with others all the time. You can kind of recognize them going through this process themselves. But the first thing is, install, to get in the same, to move, you don't install 1,000 things, but you can do the big things to get yourself in that space. It's like when you move into new office buildings, new lease, we were out of space. We need a new factory. First thing is get in there. You don't know all the furnishings and this, that, and the other, and the layout and everything. But the first thing is get it and get your people in there. And now 10,000 things can be figured out and installed and worked out. But the main thing is get in the space that you want to be. And that's what I see behind the wisdom behind the way you run your life, is that you make sure you're always in that space. And
well, Larry, that's really good. I think this is a good point. When you talk about what can you glean from $1 Million Podcast, it's also managing distractions. You see, successful people don't get caught up in the minuscule details that unsuccessful people do. We're going to find what are the one or two, and it's really not going to extend past that in any particular business season. There's one or two huge changes, adjustments, thought processes that need to happen, and successful leaders find those and they amplify them. Once they fix them, they amplify them tenfold.
If you enjoyed what you've heard and are dead serious about finding out for yourself exactly how this works in the real world, I've taken the most valuable business lessons I've learned over 40 years and put them into something for you to watch. Go to whiteelementwinning.com/webinar now in order to move up as fast as possible. I'm Larry Weidel, and I run the $1 Million Mastermind. Go, go, go.